would cancel his version since there was apparently major backlash since he wanted to change the lore. I didn't know the fans loved the lore of the series that much. I've seen most of the minigames, heard all the phone calls, and checked out most of the secret Easter eggs. I could not tell you what was going on at all. There was also the return to Freddy's Ratzla, or just called Ratzla, which I won't be talking about much. Just know it was completely cancelled. There's a lot of cancellations. Now, dear Lord, you all need to give me some credit for the next part, please. My head is mush. If this video somehow flops after I read this quote-unquote book, I will cry. I do like to read occasionally. I may not be someone into the fine arts, reading off of the sophisticated or extensive literature of authors such as Shakespeare or Stephen King. I do, however, enjoy a quick reading of Diary of a Wimpy Kid from time to time. But to call this quote-unquote novel something worth reading, well, in my opinion, and remember this part is completely my own opinion, this novel is trash. XO, why are you suddenly being so critical? You see, when I do these fan game reviews, I tend to look at the positives above the negatives. Yes, I'll still point out the flaws that I particularly do not like, since, like I said, it's a review based on my own personal experiences. But when I have to go read what's basically a Wattpad fanfic in order to give you all context for what's inside this book, I'll stop calling it that now. It is literally a free text file you download off of GameJolt. What am I doing in my life now? Hello everyone, today we are reviewing the text file, The Return to Freddy's, The Dreadful Truth. At least partly, since if I review the whole thing, it will cause this video to extend a further 30 minutes. Chapter 1. It starts off in a secret Japanese government facility called Gilbert Facility, meant to save people from super cancer. I heard about this a while back and people were basically memeing on the creator for creating this concept of super cancer. I thought they were lying or it was exaggerated. No. This is the second sentence in the whole book. This is apparently a super contagious cancer that has no cure. One day, they had a crazy idea of transferring a person's soul into some sort of object and calling this the Save the Kids program. I am not an author, but even I can understand the writing, pacing, and concepts thrown in just the first paragraph alone is something that is laughable. If you think that I am somehow making this part up for shock value, and just to make fun of the creator for some reason, go download this file for yourself. It is completely free on GameJolt. In Chapter 2, it is so hard to understand who is who, to be honest, since it just jumbles up into incoherent sentences. But Allison finds an interesting antidote bottle that says antidote being run for tests that is supposed to cure the super contagious super cancer virus, but has side effects. Wrong effects, by the way, like itchy throat, lightheadedness, 90% immortality rate, and loss of sperm? Was this supposed to be a comedic part? I couldn't tell you. Also, if it gives a 90% chance of immortality, William Afton must have drank a gallon of this stuff since he cannot disappear from the series. In the same chapter, Allison quote says, "could do nothing but laugh and grin evilly at them." This is literally a Wattpad fanfic, oh my lord. Anyways, 3 Fazbear employees. Don't ask me how we went from a Japanese research facility to a Fazbear restaurant in America. I have no idea either. These employees put on the torture suits that were labeled the Slaughter Crew. Let me just say that again. 3 Fazbear employees put on these things called the torture suits that literally had a label on them called the Slaughter Crew and expected to be alright. Long story short, they start turning into Springtrap, and Allison is just laughing at them, since why wouldn't they be? Edgy guy being traumatized by watching 3 people suffer in front of him. That's cool, I guess. I will now read another passage of what happened. Remember, you can go read this yourself if you believe I changed any of the words. Quote, As Allison presses the button, one of the employees yell, "Damn you!" as the torture suit shoves and stabs the knives and needles from head to toe, draining every single drop of blood, draining every bit of blood and organs from their bodies to use it as fuel. They screamed and cried as Allison watched them die until he heard nothing come out of their mouths. If this doesn't seal the deal of making you think this as an edgy teen fanfic, I have no idea what will. There are a bunch of issues with this document. One of the major ones being that the locations change like crazy. One second we're in a Fazbear restaurant reading about these torture suits, the next we're in a hospital hearing how Grand's wife passed away after her life support was pulled out in front of him by a hitman who unironically says he should have never became part of Fazbear Inc. family. Let me just lay out this scene for you to really understand what I'm dealing with here, okay? An ambulance is arriving at the hospital after a car accident, right? Which results in Grand's wife needing to be in an emergency room with life support. This seems pretty dire, but so far believable, although a tad dramatic. The doctor was falsely called out by another patient. Not sure how this happens, but it does. Which causes a fake doctor to come in to take over the procedure. This fake doctor was actually a hidden gang member, Hitman, which does everything I just mentioned previously. By the way, Grand was the green guy from before. I probably should have mentioned he had a name. This all happened in the first 2 chapters, which baffles me, honestly. Like, genuinely confuses me. Now, chapter 3, Grand is going crazy, some real voodoo